Welcome to the Opposites Attract podcast. I'm Shlex.
And I'm Southwest Bully, the one and only.
And today we're going to do an interview style episode. And I'm going to be asking Jay a lot of questions that I've had. I want him to respond to an overarching statement that I've heard about dating as a single parent, as a single father, and what he's looking for now, how he's navigating the dating space, if he is. And we're going to jump into all of that. And I have a lot of questions that I want to ask him. So we're going to jump into that right away. From what I've gathered from even friends of mine, I've heard that a lot of women would not want to date a single father with children for the only reason, not because they're turned off by like that, I guess, family dynamic, but because they don't want to enter a relationship already being the second person that they love. They don't want to ever have to compete with the children because there actually is no competition when there's kids. Like, she's never going to win against your children. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. Where do you stand on that? Do you agree with that? Like, how do you feel about that? And I don't know.
Well, I agree 100%. I feel like women, from my experience now, since I've been single, I feel like women do not approach because I have kids. Okay. So they admire from a distance, I guess, if you want to say. But yeah, obviously, because my kids do come first. Like, I put them over everything. And it's like, the love that I have for my children and the love that my children give me, it's like if you can't match, if you can't match that and you can't fulfill the same amount with the same caliber, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would I break my routine, share my space,
share your time? I feel like that's the biggest thing, right?
To be with someone that doesn't even match what they're bringing me. So, I think it's super complicated. And women that see that a guy has kids, I know there's like the rare few that I talk to and I know. And they're homies, like they're just in a relationship with a guy that has kids,
and it works for them.
Yeah, because I feel like those girls are just, that one girl that I know, she's one of my friends, and like she's with this guy that has like 2 kids, and I feel like she's not in a rush. Okay. I don't think she wants kids of her own, or maybe she does, but she doesn't mind nurturing and being there for his kids.
So then, what would it take?
I feel like for her, what it is, and I feel for some women, they're so. And I think that's a traditional type of woman. She's so focused on, okay, I want to be his peace. So if his peace is me loving his children and catering to his children, and that makes him happy, then that makes me happy.
Okay, so then would you say that the woman has to be more in love with you than you could be in love with her because your love is being catered to your kids?
But I feel like once you have kids, and I think I'm going to make this even more complicated for me to date. Yeah. But I feel like I can never love a woman more than I love my kids. Like, obviously, but I mean, like, I feel like I can never fall in love to an extent. Like, you know, when you're young and you're falling in love, you're like, oh my God, I can't live without this person. Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like,
I could live without you. I got my kids. I could live without you.
I got my kids. Like, since I got my kids during my last separation, which I was like, I didn't expect that relationship to end. After I went through the whole breakup and the sadness and the pain and the whatever and the healing, and you're like, oh shit, I got them. Yeah. I don't need nothing else. Right. I don't even want to go back. And I don't like.
You know how in relationships sometimes you like would call your partner, this person is my world, this person is my everything. No, you won't have that now because your kids are your world.
My kids are my heart walking outside in human form. Oh. So at the end of the day, it's like, nah. And then I think, you're right. I feel like, to answer your question, I feel like the girl needs to be profoundly in love with me. Right. For it to really.
And then, so on.
And that doesn't mean I don't love, but hold on. That doesn't mean I don't love. I love very profoundly, very deeply. But it's just like, because I have these 2 beautiful little human beings in my life, I feel like it would be impossible. So that's why sometimes I'm like, maybe I should be with a girl that already has kids.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is that what you would be open to?
Oh, I'm open to that.
In your ideal world, the next woman that you date, would she have kids or not? Yes or no? I don't need an explanation. Rapid fire question. Ideal world. Like, you're living in a utopia.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, but I am open to.
You're open to it, but I'm just saying, if you got to create this idealistic
because
situation.
It's rapid fire, I'm saying yes, but I really need to think about it, and I don't know, like, Yes, actually, yes, because it's like ain't no drama.
Yeah,
I feel like there were. Well,
see, it's hard. I know.
Because women are more emotional, men are more logical. I feel like I'm coming from a logical space, a logical place. This is why I'm like, yo, you're pissing me off, or you're busting my balls. Like, you know what? We could just call it quits. Like, I'll spend the weekend with my kids. And, like, I love being, you know what I mean? But I feel like women are more emotional, and they're really always seeking that love and that. I don't know, that
you need
fairy
that intimacy,
tale.
that depth, but women need so much of your time. Like, I feel like, I mean, I could speak personally, I don't know about all women, but I feel like I do my own thing, but when I want Maddie's time and attention, like, that's what I want.
You want it right away.
And I'm a little bit impatient in that sense.
But that I could minus the kids already since my last relationship and even my previous relationships. The issue is I'm someone that I'm a go-getter. I have dreams. I want to take risk, and taking risk involve making mistakes, and making mistakes to clean them up. It takes time to create that perfect project. It takes time. So it's like, I already feel like I need someone that has their own thing going on or that has kids. So it's like,
they have a level of understanding of exactly what you're doing.
Yes, and they're just like, they're just focused on their thing. If you're just at home and like, I don't know, you got it made and you're not worried about bills or about the next thing, and then you want to get in a relationship with me and you got kids and your kids are at daycare and you're barely seeing them, and then like you want to fall in love, because there's a lot of baby mamas like that. They don't do fuck all, and like their kids are at daycare Monday to Friday. Daddy has them on the weekends, and like they're not really seeing their kids, and then they're still looking for that crazy love relationship, and they're looking for that love as if they don't have it with their kids. You know what I mean? But
do you think then it's easier because we're talking about other women now with kids, do you think it would be easier as a single mom to date? We're just talking cis and hetero relationships, but I'm just grouping this all together. But it's when I say
you were saying that for the LBGQT, BC.
Just covering all bases here. But I'm just when I'm using this as an example for your situation, do you think it was easier for a woman to date if she has children, or do you think it's harder for men? It's hard questions.
Personally, I haven't been dating long enough. Okay. I don't consider that dating. Like, I smashed, but I'm not dating. Like, I'm not like, hey, like, okay, this weekend we're going to do this and this day we're going to do that. Like, first of all, I dedicate all my weekends to my kids. 3 weekends out of the month are dedicated to my kids. You know what I mean? I got my kids Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then because I run a business, that weekend that follows, it's like, if business is done. And you're in the DMs or you're on that day. I'm like,
when you don't answer me on a Tuesday night, what is Jay doing?
But see, like now that's the pressure. It's like now I got to squeeze in everything.
During
like
the week.
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
It's hard to find a girl who's down, ready to go during the week, I guess, depending on her schedule.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
but would you, if you didn't have kids, would you date a woman who does have children?
That does have children?
I know it's hard to put yourself in a situation because you do have your kids, but if you take yourself out of that mindset before you had kids, now at this stage in your life, at this maturity level, without kids, would you date a woman with kids?
100%.
Okay.
For the simple fact that I've naturally, since I'm a kid, I always wanted the whole family aspect. I've been fiending it. Like, when you ask me, Jay, what is success to you? Being a father, a present father. It's not the gym. It's not the $1 million. It's not like, obviously I want to be financially free, and like that's my idea. Your kids too. But yeah, that's for my kids. It's like at the end of the day, I've always been crazy about being not the perfect, but the ideal role model in my family. So if a girl had kids and like I could come and like, let's say the dad's not present or whatever, like if I could be that role, why not?
Do you find it challenging to co-parent? Yeah.
It has its challenges.
Of course.
It does. Like, my first one was really hard. Now we're good. It took like 3 years.
Everything takes time, right? Like, because you have to get into your routine, similar to anything you're getting into that you're starting off at. Like, obviously I'm not comparing like necessarily parenting to a business, but even just getting started with anything, you're starting with a project, you're starting something new.
Exactly.
You're going to have your ups and downs, and you're going to get into your routine, and you're going to get to a place
where it works for you guys. The hardest part is just, it's all introspect. It's all like, how do I feel about what this person did? Because when you co-parent, no matter what the person did, it does not matter. Yeah. You could bring it up every time something goes wrong. Oh, you used to do this in our relationship. Oh, it does not matter. That's the hard part about co-parenting, is really the introspection and dealing with the battles. Because in a relationship, you could argue and then prove the person wrong. When kids are involved, it's like, you just got to suck it up and deal with it. Not just suck it up and repress it, but deal with it.
Right.
So do the work, whether it's going to
because
therapy.
It's for your kids.
Because it's for your kids. Because if you come back with that resentment, like, I'll be honest with you, like, I try to keep the conversation to a minimum.
Yeah. But I think that's oftentimes, especially at the beginning, the healthiest to do.
Yeah, but even like, it's been 3 years. I'm good with my daughter's mom. Like, we have no beef, and I have no beef with my son's mom. But, like, I'm just the type to...
You think the distance is what makes it healthiest situation for the children?
For me, yes.
Right.
For me, yes. I don't know for them. For me, yes. Because...
But if that allows your kids... Sorry to interrupt you, but if that allows your kids to always see both of you guys in the happiest, most amazing light, then right now, in this season of your life, perhaps in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, that changes, that's fine. But as of right now, if they're always able to see you happy, energetic, present with them, I feel like that's the ideal situation for your kids, especially at this point in their life where they're learning.
They're
and
absorbing everything. So for me, like, the most thing, like I always say about my son, I'm like, when my son looks at me, I never want him to see me and his mother going at it. Right. Just arguing, or me, like, being pissed when I'm going to drop him off or pick him up, because he is going to fall in love with his mom first and foremost. That's the first woman that the first girl that he's going to be like, oh my God. So for me to show any sign of disrespect or anything that he could feel like that's not fair to mommy, he doesn't know the difference. He's just protecting his mommy. That's his nature. So for me, I'm like, okay, let me keep the conversation to a minimum, because don't forget, when you co-parent, is because you're not getting along with that person. Like, something happened, or you guys just have 2 different point of views, and you only realize after the baby came along. Right. So what's the point of even trying to argue or prove your point about something? So I'm just like, okay, look, I got to pick up my son. There's a schedule, right? Like, I see my son's mother once every 2 weeks for literally 2 minutes. And then after that, everything is through text. And I like, as a father, a single father, I think it's very important to have everything through text. Yeah. Because if you have verbal, and then in my past relationship, then I'm trying to go to court and prove, and then you can't. Yeah. So it's like, just have everything on text. And
so you mentioned, though, that it's easier, you think, to avoid any type of... It's easiest to avoid any type of conversation, because that allows you to... This is going to have to get cut. You mentioned that...
you lost your train of thought.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. But you mentioned that...
There's no drama, because
No, but you mentioned that... I wanted to touch on that. That was important when you said that. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying this right now. You mentioned that... I literally tried to, like, note it in my head.
What did it revolve around?
Anyway, you mentioned that it was essentially... You mentioned that it's easier to just not, like, avoid any fights, essentially, obviously, for the kids.
By minimizing the conversation,
right, okay.
Because that I don't want my son to see me in that light.
I think that's sometimes applicable, even without kids. Like, obviously, that is better, but just the...
No, because people have that people-pleasing issue. Society says, okay, if you're co-parenting, you guys should be friends for the kids. No, that's not true. You don't have to be friends for the kids. It doesn't make a difference if the kids see you as, like, if they see you as friends, like, oh, cool, mommy and daddy get along, yes. But if I need to protect my peace, because at the end of the day, you matter. For me to be an amazing father and not to come back home triggered, and then my daughter drops something, or she's taking her toy pan and banging it, for me to not snap and to not make her life a living hell, let me stay away from anything.
Because you know yourself, it's very self-aware.
And once again, they say, never let someone wake up the unhealed version, or bring out the unhealed version of yourself. And I'm a firm believer in that. Never let anyone bring out the unhealed version of yourself. And for me, going in these relationships, especially as fathers, like in Quebec, fathers, and just in general, fathers don't really have that much of a say.
Anywhere,
It's really it's like women are like, and I get it, you carried the child and everything, and it's just
automatically favored to the mother. It's
automatically favored to them. So then we have a bunch of mental health issues. We have to repress everything, and we have to find our group of men or whatever, and we don't have that many resources to like bring out how we feel. So for me, it's easier to be like, hey, I'm not calling you a B word. I'm not screaming at you. I'm not being rude. Look, I got to pick up my son. This is my time with my son. I'm going to do what I got to do with my son. And when you do your thing, you got to do your thing. It's just women, like, I feel like they have like, oh, let's be friends. Why? I never agreed to being anything else but mom and dad in a family. If we're something else, it's like, okay, I could be civil. I believe in being civil.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
I'm a civil co-parent, but I'm not your friend. Like my ex, my daughter's mom, we're civil.
Yeah.
We'll send, now it's at a deeper level where it's like, okay, we send pictures. We're like, oh, Summer did this. Oh, look, she was really excited to see you this weekend. She was saying this right before she left. Like, but I don't ask her like, hey, what's going on in your, I don't know. I don't even know if she has a job. You know, like there's certain things that you have to understand that when you're in a co-parenting relationship, whatever's happening in their lives, like at one point I was super controlling. I wanted to know like, who's the boyfriend, who's around my daughter. And like,
but that is important too, though.
It is, but at the same time, you'll never know the truth.
Right, okay.
Why would the mom say like, oh, my boyfriend screams at your daughter so I could kick the door and fucking catch a case? Like, even if I'm the calmest person, like why? To trigger that? To trigger judgment? So you'll never know. People are always on their best behavior. So at the end of the day, it's just for me, it's like, you know what? You live your life. I have no control on it. And I live my life. As long as I know that both of us have the best intentions for our kids, then let's leave it at that.
I think that's what my parents did when my parents separated and everything. I was around 12, so I blocked out a lot of things, but I don't have any vivid memories of my parents actually fighting. But I always wished that they were better friends. I really did always wish that. So when you were saying that it sometimes doesn't matter, but then you continued on to say that it's important that you're civil. My parents are still not civil, and it's been over a decade. So,
but do you think that really affected you, or
absolutely?
Or just something that you
I would
wish?
love that. No, I would. Absolutely.
But is it something that like it handicaps you in society?
Yeah,
it does.
Absolutely. I really feel if my parents were civil, then I wouldn't have to choose between going to my whatever dance recital. Like it's those things stuck with me. Then them never showing up together because the other one would be there.
But I feel like that's understandable because at the end of the day, as a child, when you grow older, I feel like it's important for you to look, now as an adult, to look at the situation, and I won't air your shit out, but to look at the situation of why they parted ways. Look, my 2 relationships, no one cheated. There was no violence. There was no abuse. It was just literally like, oh shit, we're not the right people for each other. And like, there's lies that I hate lies. And I'm like, yo, I can't be lied to. That little lie makes me not trust you. So there's no trust. I need to leave. Yeah. So when soon I'm going to put Summer in dance recitals and whatever. I always envision myself like, oh, let me text her mom and tell her like, hey, I found this school for Summer. Yeah. She's going to have dance classes on Saturdays. Hey, maybe you should reach. Yeah. Because it's just like, as much as I don't like your mom and your dad and your boyfriend at the time, at the moment right now, and like your friends, for her,
it's gonna be amazing.
I could be in the same, but I could be in the same room with you because you didn't cheat on me. You didn't, I didn't beat you. I know you could be in the same room with me too. Yeah. So that's different. Right now, it's just like on a 95% scale. I'm like, yo, if I don't need to deal with you or talk to you, why would I? Right. You know. So let me just be civil. Like, oh yeah, he ate this, and oh, I put his clothes in the bag. Here, they're clean. Okay. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's just like, I think it depends on what made you guys part ways. That's when it's like, I understand why your parents did a whole decade, because if I would be in the situation of your mom, 100%. Yeah. You know what I mean? So do you fear this? I'm bringing it back a little bit. We'll go down a little bit of a different path now. But do you fear, it's a deep question, do you fear the next woman that you're with, having a child with, and then having 3, and then if it didn't work out, God forbid, having 3 different baby moms? Is that something that crosses your mind? Look, right now I could justify, even if I don't need to. I had one relationship and I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm a lover. You know me, like I look tough.
Certified lover boy.
People think I'm fucking left and right. Like, no, I'm very picky. I'm very. Yo, Seb is like, oh, you probably get ass all the time. Everybody I meet, they're like, oh, you're getting ass. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I'm very selective. I'm very picky, and I believe in energy exchange. So even when I am just casually hooking up, I'll hook up and then I'm not hooking up for 4 months because that was so draining. Okay. You know what I mean? So my first relationship, I actually believed that it was going to work. I fell in love with this girl. I'm sure that was it for both cases. That's what I'm about to say. We called our daughter Summer Love because it was really a summer love. Like, we were both born in June and we were madly in love during the summer. I remember. So we thought like, yo, 100%, like this is what it is. Like, we're going to get married, this, that. And then something came to the light that I was like, oh, you lied to me. Okay. Like, this is a big part of your identity. This is like, literally like, I don't know who you are, so I'm not doing this. And I split up. Then I didn't want to be jaded, so I'm like, hey, I want to try love again.
Yeah.
And then my second partner was my best friend and coworker. You know, some people know her. She was my best friend and coworker for 5 years.
Yeah.
So we had a history. I'm like, I know this person. She's my best friend. How can it go wrong?
Right.
Then you get with the person, you start living together, you start traveling together, and you start realizing like, oh my God, we're not the right fit. Like the way you see things, the way I see things doesn't work. So then that was my second attempt. After 2 attempts, there's no third.
Right.
I'm not gonna go in, and that's what's making it harder for me to date, is that I know that I'll be on a dating app and most girls are like, open to children, no children, want children, this, that, and I'm like, fuck. Like that's the biggest thing. And I'm 30, I'm turning 31. Girls my age are like, yo, the clock is ticking. Like, let's make it happen. But I don't want more kids. I have 2 beautiful kids, a boy and a girl. I'm done.
Right.
Which is why I realize that maybe I need to go towards like, okay, you already have kids, let's bring our families together. Okay. That would be cool. Or finding a girl that's just like, you know what, I'm snatched, I don't want to mess up my body. Like, let's go, let's just come together. I like your kids, they like me, cool. But then I think it's gonna be hard for a girl to be with me because I'm gonna need a solid 2 years before you even see one of my kids. Like you're never
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Because I see it with my daughter and it sucks for her because last weekend she was at my house and then she starts saying my ex's name. Because we're going through videos and my daughter likes going through videos and seeing like so the memories and whatever. And then I go on a video and I thought I deleted everything about my ex. And then there's a video of her and my ex and they were like this. So then she says her name. She's like, where is she? And then she starts crying and I'm like, I'm never doing that to you again. Yeah. I trusted this person to really ride till the wheels fall off and go through thick and thin like they say. But then not everybody's built for it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And now my daughter has these are the repercussions. I'm good. It's my baby now. So now I'm not good.
And it's also like for you can explain it to yourself. You can self-soothe.
And then I'm trying to explain. I'm like,
but it's also hard. Like how much of it can you explain?
It was 10 minutes where I had to hold it and say, baby, it's okay. Like, it's okay. You see, you got Kaka, you got me. We're here. We're happy. And then we start dancing. I put music from our country. And then she's like, oh, okay. Everything's cool good with daddy. Luckily, kids forget in like 2 seconds. But just that moment, it pissed me off last week. And I felt all the feelings came back up and I'm like, nah, I promise you, next girl. I won't do this again. Yeah, next girl, you're going to see. I'm sorry for failing you, but next girl, you're going to see.
But I don't think you failed her, though.
No, like but as a father, you see it that way.
Right, okay.
Because you never want you don't want to see your kid hurt. My kid falls on the floor and I gotta be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
How come I couldn't save you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I was looking away with your brother for 2 seconds or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why for me, like the next girl, like it sounds extremist, but like, yeah, I think 2 years goes by quickly. In 2 years, I think it's a solid foundation. It's like, okay, we've been through some shit. For the first year, we're getting to know each other. And like, I always think the first year is like really where you kind of like lay it down a bit.
Okay.
But then you need an extra year to know, like, did we really make that trial run?
Okay.
Then after 2 years, I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
But yeah.
I know that's a hard and fast rule. I know, because if you're going to stick to that time, I know, and exactly. And I'm a firm believer myself in making your own rules for any relationship. I don't think there's 100%. Any right or wrong way of doing things. I think that honestly, whatever works for you.
I think that's where we go wrong. Like for example, that's where I went wrong is that I had no standards and no boundaries in both of my relationships where I had kids. Therefore, it's like now you try to lay down the boundaries or lay down the rules, and it's like
and you're already too
switched
deep into
up.
It.
Yeah, like you're fucked up.
No, I know. That
you know what I mean? It's like with employees. Like all my staff. Like I have a shitload. A lot of trainers in Montreal now that own gyms used to be my trainers, and it's like shit. I was the cool owner. I was the guy. I didn't give a fuck. But then after the minute you lay down the law,
right?
And it's simple rules, but it's just because you change.
Exactly.
Oh, he's an asshole. He does this. He does that. Oh, he's a dickhead. Boom. So it's like. And now that's why I'm like, yo, 2 years. Why do you need to meet my kids?
But also, I feel like even at your age, not that you're old, but you've just like experienced things. You've been experienced in different relationships. And I think it's good in that sense because I feel like you know yourself so well now that you know there's not going to be much changing up. Like you've really established your personality, you've really established your boundaries, you really established your beliefs. Because in a previous relationship of mine, I was still getting to know myself, but at the beginning, I was down for these specific things, and this was my mentality, this was my thought process. I was okay with these things, and then as things progressed, I wasn't changing up, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I was like, I actually don't like when you do that, and I'm allowed to tell you that, and it's just, that clearly just means we're incompatible, and that's okay also. But the thing is that it's just, as you get older, and now right at the beginning of my current relationship, we got to know each other very quickly, right off the bat, and ideologies of a lot of things does align.
Yeah.
And I'm just a very, very, very open-minded person. So anything that someone wants to teach me or things like that, I'm so receptive to that type of stuff. And I'm still young, so I am very willing to, navigate with that person. Whereas just being a bit older, I think, in my opinion, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you do need a little bit more rigid rules because you have 2 kids.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, those boundaries do need to be a lot more strict. And if you can't abide by those, then you're just not the person for me. Whereas in my position, I can kind of just, I'm down to try these different things. And it's just, okay.
Yeah, because at my age, I'm like at the state, like when you're in your early 20s and like, you come up and you tell this person everything you want. It's like, red flag, what the fuck? Like, you're a freak. But now it's like, yo, I'm turning 31. I got 2 kids, and it's not only about me.
Yeah.
So listen, this, that, and the third.
I think
you with it or not? No? All right, ciao,
red
deuces.
Flags.
Yeah.
I know, but sometimes those red flags are off.
I've been with a girl, she wrote at that time, I was in a different headspace. I was like, wow, she wrote everything she really wants in a relationship, her ideal relationship. Almost like, but then after, I was like, that was kind of fucking weird.
No, but no.
That was mad.
It really,
weird,
I think that's so situational because in my current relationship, my boyfriend told me that he loved me within the first month.
But that's okay. But the dropping the I love you is, I don't think that can be dropped. It was on
our first trip, and I was like,
I'm quick to fall in love. So for me, it's
I know, and he just said he was speaking with his heart, and it meant a lot to me. But in the moment, I was like,
yeah, you're like,
thank
weirdo.
you. My answer, I'm like, thank you for being vulnerable.
Wow.
We were literally, it was like our first or second trip.
But you knew he really
together.
loved you because he's like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just letting my heart speak. And then I was like telling my mom, and my mom's like, I think that's a cultural difference. She's because he speaks French. She's like, maybe it means a little bit less in French. I'm like, I don't know. He says, anyway, it was quite funny. But all those red flags where you think they're a red flag at the beginning, they sometimes turn out to be okay.
Yeah, exactly. But
so
I don't know. Now it's really like, I got to put the rules down because it's not about myself. It's about my kids.
Okay, so we'll move on from this. We'll start to wrap it up. But what are you looking for now in a relationship? What is your strategy? Are we still on dating apps? Are we actively looking? What's your situation right now?
I'm not actively looking, and I'm very open to relationships.
Okay.
Very open, but I'm not
extremely picky.
No, I'm very picky. I'm gonna forever be picky. But I mean, like,
As I said, you're extremely picky.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm extremely picky. But I'm not looking like. Yeah. I'm on one dating app. But
Which one?
Don't worry about it.
Tell them.
No, I don't want people to go find me. But I'm on. I was about to say it. I'm really more in a mindset of looking for something like just short term, casual, like.
Oh, okay. So
but with
nothing
respect,
serious right
but
now.
I'm open to it being long term.
Okay.
But the thing is that right now I got a lot going on, and I feel like there's one thing, okay, and this is big. There's one thing that the Minister Farrakhan says. He says, if you can't take care of her, then you shouldn't have the privilege to enjoy her breast. Okay. And at first, when I used to hear that, I was just like, this guy's bugging, bro. Right. What is he talking about? But now that I'm more into like, like celibacy and like just focusing on my work, not celibacy because I'm like, I can't smash. Just like, I could go 3 months without trying to fuck and then, oh shit, I'm feeling kind of horny now. Let me see if there's like a prospect or whatever. But because I'm really big on being by myself, with myself, figuring out myself and building my life, because I just moved back, I'm starting over, like I realized like fuck, if I'm not done taking care of myself, I could for sure can't take care of a girl right now. Absolutely. So why would I be smashing? Why would I be like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm trying to keep it as a like, I'm open, like obviously I got needs, I train every day, my testosterone levels are through the roof. So if a girl slides in my DM and says, hey, what are you doing tonight? Can I come over? Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna take that, but I'm not seeking for that. Yeah, okay, makes sense. I could go months, like I think the longest I went celibate was like 2 years because I needed to focus on myself. So right now that's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm on some smash or pass type thing. Yeah.